especially these mature players, when they leave Uganda, they normally play some good football out there, but they just do not take some time in Europe. Now it's time for Abdul Mara to prove his critics that he can play in Europe. Abdul Mara will be playing at FK Slaven Berupo for quite a long time. Berupo is in Croatia's first division, and we expect Abdul Mara to gain some more experience in order to vie for his position at the national team. Abdul Mara was unveiled early this morning in Croatia's big league. This is the man who has been here at Vipers St. Mary's Stadium Chitende, and he has been playing some good football here in the top tier in Uganda. Abdul Mara will be playing his first game with FK Slaven Berupo this very weekend after penning down his 2-year contract. That's the man of his beard. He's gone to Europe now. We'll wait and see what comes up next for him. Elsewhere, Alejandro Garnacho had his first full debut. Alejandro Garnacho, the teenager for Manchester United, had his first full debut for Argentina while they were playing in the South American Copa America qualifiers. Alejandro Garnacho is a one inspired by Cristiano Ronaldo, and he said he is looking up to make what his star idol has actually made. We have pictures of Alejandro Garnacho in his first debut of Argentina. Remember, Argentina is trying to get Alejandro Garnacho starting as regular as possible after Molina scoped some injury in their preliminary games. Away from that, Alejandro Garnacho is also eyed by several teams, including the likes of Bayern Munich, and they are saying Alejandro Garnacho is a one-star that would fit in the Bayern Munich squad. We have a picture, that is the side picture of Alejandro Garnacho. If our producer can play that picture for you and you see how Garnacho appeared. Yeah, that's the picture. That is how Alejandro featured and appeared in his first game. Away from that, I can tell you that Alonso Ronald Nwasima, a one proprietor of Land Sports Academy, has actually been selected to be one of the patrons and the marketeers of the Ankole Cup. Ankole District Tournament Cup is coming for the 3rd edition. That's Alonso Ronald Nwasima. Most of you know him through Ankole Lions Sports Academy. He's now the official marketeer of Ankole District's football tournament, and they will be commencing this very year. The 3rd edition is coming up later this year, and we expect Ronald Nwasima to be a one cheering for sponsors and making some sales here and there for the Ankole District Tournament Cup. This is the edition that was won by Buweju in the last edition of 2023. That was the 2nd edition. In fact, we expect Alonso Nwasima to be putting a lot of efforts to be helping the Ankole District Tournament to gear and gather lots of sponsors within the coming tournament. This time around, the tournament will be entertaining just 2 players who are coming from the football elite class, that is in the Super League. Others are expected to be coming from the lower division clubs. This time around, the tournament has changed some few things here and there to make it better, and we're expecting them to start registering as soon as we get into the holiday, the first holiday. Remember, this time around, players who are not verified by their local councils will not be taking part within the Ankole District Tournament 3rd edition. That is how far the Ankole District Tournament has gone in order to improve and promote talents here in Western Uganda. We actually give credit to those people, to those brains behind the Ankole District's Tournament Cup. That is one Michael and his colleagues who have actually come up with this idea, and it will be gearing up some fan base, especially when the games kick off. Districts like Rwampara and Isinjiro could not make it last season, but we expect they could not make it to the knockout stages, but we expect this time around to sort themselves up and come for a greater challenge. Districts like Shema and Bushenyi were locked into wrangles and fights as they were fighting for the position into the knockouts. Some districts like in Tungamo, who reached the final, were proud to have reached there simply because they also had issues between them and Bara City as they played that home game in Chamate, where a penalty was given in the 87th minute, and Bara City decided to abandon the game, but they faced the consequences as they were denied a second chance to replay that game. So we shall see most of the Ankole districts gathering up for the third edition of the Ankole Districts Tournament. That is all about the Ankole Districts Tournament Cup that is coming up later this year. Away from that, we can talk about the upcoming UEFA Champions League. In fact, remember on 9th we shall have those games coming back. The semi-finals will be returning, and we have a tie that we really have to talk about. That is a tie between Arsenal and Bayern Munich of Germany. We have seen Arsenal losing several times against Bayern Munich, but this time around we tried to gather for you all those records and statistics of the Arsenal team against Bayern Munich, and this is what we have gathered for you. It has been a horror. It has been a record against the Germany counterparts. Now we can talk about March 2017, where Arsenal lost 5-1, and Arsenal was at home at Emirates Stadium. And February 2017, Bayern Munich also beat Arsenal 5-1 away in Allianz Stadium, that is in Germany. And November 2015, we saw Arsenal losing 5-1 still against Bayern Munich. That was in Germany. That game was played in Germany. Then in October 2015, a game also in London made sure that Arsenal beat Bayern 2-0. So they won just 2-0, and they could not concede in London. And in March 2014, that is when they drew 1-1. And February 2014, Bayern Munich beat Arsenal 2-0, and Arsenal was at home. This time around in March 2013, we saw Arsenal beating Bayern 2-0 at home. Some way time in 2013, also Bayern beat Arsenal 3-1, and in March 2005, Arsenal beat Bayern 1-0. Remember, that is when they reached the other final against Barcelona, and they lost that final 2-1. In February 2005, Bayern beat Arsenal 3-1. So that's the record. You can as well count how many times has Bayern Munich beaten Arsenal and how many times has Arsenal beaten Bayern Munich. In fact, we can say that of the 10 games they have played, Arsenal has just managed one draw, and they have managed actually 2 wins, especially in the last 5 games. They have managed to win just once and drawing once also. That means Arsenal should rely on their past wins against Bayern Munich to gear up confidence and to gear up some vigor to win against FC Bayern Munich. So that's the story that we are telling you, that Arsenal cannot be ruled out of this game, and we expect them to be doing far much more better. To basketball, I will take you to basketball now. Last evening, we saw the likes of NAM Blazers. We saw the likes of UCU Lady Cannons having actually a good time, and they were winning their game. This time around, we have the fixtures, the basketball fixtures, and we expect some quite challenging actions in those games that are coming up later tomorrow. KCCA Leopards will be playing JKL Lady Dolphins, and UCU Lady Cannons will be playing against Namuwongo Blazers. That means we expect some quite challenges when these teams are facing each other, especially that game of Namuwongo Blazers. It really has to be massive. Everybody is expecting some challenges in that game, as this is a game of giants. That is Namuwongo Blazers, who are doing better so far in the league. In fact, yesterday in the final, UCU Lady Cannons managed to beat Miracle Ravens 67-50, and that game of UCU Lady Cannons, everybody was watching out for maybe a tight call, but this time around 17 points separated the two, as UCU Lady Cannons beat Miracle Ravens 67-50. That was the game that was played last evening, and tomorrow we shall have some more games. In basketball, and we expect lots and lots of entertaining stuff there. Halftime of UCU Lady Cannons ended at 37-22. You could clearly see that the gap still remained as huge as that of 15 points, and somewhere On Friday, we shall also see that game of UCU Lady Cannons playing Namungo Blazers. And Saturday, we shall have quite a number of games as KIU Rangers will be playing against Kampala University A1 Challenge. They will be taking on Lady Cannons, and Dimag Power will be taking on Ndeje Angels. JT Jaguars will be taking on Kampala Rockets, as well as KIU Titans will be playing against Livingston. All those games will be played at YMCA Wandegea, and we expect those games to start as early as 10 on Saturday, then midday. Then we shall also have those games which will kick off at around 2 p.m, then 4 p.m, and as well as 6 p.m. in the evening. Then on Monday, we shall have the last games of this match day 10 or match week 10, whereby Nabisunsa will be playing against KIU Rangers and Livingston will be playing against Dimag Power, whereas JKL Lady Dolphins will be playing against KIU Titans. That is a story I have brought for you from basketball. Remember, the National Basketball League here in Uganda is actually going on, and this has been the match week 10. Away from that, I can tell you that Manchester United have super glued. Their scouts have actually confirmed that they are monitoring a one Ivan Toney at Brentford. The Brentford Toney has actually been a top scorer, and he appeared in England's game while they were playing, in fact scoring also a penalty. He made the events for England as they were playing. Remember, England was playing Belgium, and they played such a very, very beautiful game where Kobe Mainoo was named man of the match. And this time around, the scouts of Manchester United are scouting against and super glued at Brentford's Ivan Toney, who is the talisman of Brentford after that match ban. It was actually a very long match ban. He took something like 4 months without playing some good football. When it came to 8, then he was saying I would want to leave Brentford, and he was complaining here and there, but he was paid, and Brentford wanted him back. As immediately as he returned, he scored those goals, and he even scored for the national team, that is England as well. They were playing against Belgium. Kobe Mainoo was named man of the match in that game where they featured, and Kobe Mainoo was replaced by James Maddison. But this time around, Ivan Toney, the English talisman, is expected to join Manchester United. That is if the negotiations are going on well. Elsewhere, we have had a video that is trending here in Uganda. That video is so touching, and that video is so inspirational. Football players here in Uganda are expected to provide for the young kids whom they look to be so much inspired to. Some kids look up to these players, they look up to these stars. But one star has stood out, especially in Western Uganda, that is in the Chitara sub-region. We have seen Brian Ahebwa trying to inspire some of these kids and trying to support them as they are pursuing their football careers. Look at what he was doing, donating football boots, donating bibs, and helping these young kids to love the game. That video tells you how much passionate, tells you how much caring Brian Ahebwa is. In fact, he has supported that very academy, which is expected also to perform better in the under 10 and the under 13 boys category somewhere in Chitara sub-region. So Brian Ahebwa, he visited his home area and donated about 25 pairs of boots. You know how much money is that, remember, and giving them some bibs, jerseys. You could clearly see how the kids were happy. They enjoyed having a good time with him, and he inspired them. By the way, this is a lesson to all the other players who can manage. But giving is not a heart for everyone. But we have seen a few of these football players who are doing so, and they're the ones who are performing better on pitch. So we pray that Brian Ahebwa keeps supporting that academy until we see some of the stars grow up to be like him. He kept on telling them, I want you to start juggling like me. I want to see you playing like me. Brian Ahebwa trains his football at Chitara, which is leading on the Uganda FUFA Premier League table. I think he is a one player to reckon with. Away from that, I can tell you that in cricket, we have seen the cricket under 19 Easter tournament going on, and yesterday there was the match day, the Easter Youth 50 over tournament, and the series were going on. As game 2, Uganda under 19 beat Rwanda under 19, and Rwanda under 19 had 87 points and all out. Uganda had 88 in 5 and they were all out, but Uganda won by 5 wickets. You could clearly see how they were organized. That is the cricket for Uganda, and we also have pictures of that game. We have that cricket game of the Easter tournament, and remember, this is going until the Easter Monday. So that was the Rwanda team, the under 19 Rwanda cricket team. So they were beaten by 5 wickets here in Uganda, and we expect this run to continue as Uganda has to continue winning. That is what we talk about cricket. In fact, Uganda has actually won its second game in this series, the 50 over series, which are going on here in the country. Therefore, we pray that Uganda now wins that, especially the cricket guys who came from Ghana, and they were holding the silver medals. They are now here inspired, and we expect them to do something great. Away from that, let me take you to the Easter Cup. When we come to these holidays, we normally have different tournaments, especially in football and netball and maybe athletics. This is the Easter Cup that is actually coming up somewhere in western Uganda. We really think these guys are maybe trying to entice the political leaders who are trying to contest also in 2026. So they are trying to look for a way out how these contestants can support their communities, especially in terms of sports. But this time around, this is the Easter tournament that is coming up, Easter Masape Cup, somewhere in this region. You know these footballers, when it comes to enticing the politicians, they do everything. They will organize each and every tournament so that the contestants can come along. So those are the pictures that we got you. That flyer tells you how much the Easter Cup is going to be like here in western Uganda. We expect some big clubs to be joining that Easter Cup. Away from that, let me take you to the Euro 2024, as the draws were held yesterday, and the groups are, as you can see, we have groups from A up to Group F, and those are how they look like. Group A, we have Germany, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland. And Group B, we have Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. I think, to me, that is the group of death. To me, that is the group of death, as we see 3 of those biggest footballing countries like Spain, Croatia, and Italy. They are some of the biggest footballing countries in Europe. Remember, Italy having won that trophy last season, they really look very far this time around to win the same. And in Group C, we have Slovenia, by the way, they beat Portugal in their last qualifying game. They beat Portugal 2-0 there in Slovenia. So Slovenia, Denmark, and Serbia, then England are in Group C. That will also not be easy, because it has England and Denmark. The likes of Serbia and Slovenia will be competing, but we will look at those, the England team and the Denmark team. They will be coming up to compete. We can as well talk about Group D. Group D has Poland, Netherlands, and Austria. You can see how that Group D looks like, but that one has Netherlands and maybe Poland. They'll be putting up some very good show. I think, to me, it's all about waiting and looking at what is going to happen for these guys. Therefore, that is how your Euro will look like. In Group E, we have the likes of Belgium, Romania, and, by the way, Belgium this time around, they will be highly contesting, because they have tried to rejuvenate. They have tried to transform the team, going for those young guys. By the way, talking about that Group E, it has also Ukraine. Ukraine has actually failed to qualify for some 2 seasons behind before this one, but this time around they have actually qualified, courtesy of that goal that Mikhailo Mudryk of Chelsea scored, that dramatic goal that helped Ukraine to qualify. In Group F, they have Turkey, they have Georgia, they have Portugal, and Czechia, that is Czech Republic. This time around, all these opponents have actually played Portugal before. Czech Republic, maybe Georgia. I think maybe Georgia, minus the friendlies that have actually been playing. We have not seen Georgia play Portugal in the recent times, but Turkey and Czechia, that is Czech Republic, have all played Portugal. So we expect lots of competition later around this very year. So the Euro 2024 is looking like that, especially in terms of the groupings and the seedings. Therefore, for those of you who are supporting some of the clubs, you should get ready to watch the Euro 2024 on your screens. That is the Euro 2024. For the FIFA tour, I told you about the FIFA executive regional tour yesterday, and they began with Buganda. They are now traversing the whole country. They want to reach all the DFAs, or district football associations. They want to reach all the sub-regions of Uganda. Remember, we have 8 sub-regions, and the federation is in control of all these football associations. Therefore, they want to visit each and every sub-region according to the DFAs, that is the Western region, Northeastern region, Southeastern region. They actually, in all this tour, the FIFA Executive Committee tour will be going through all the 8 sub-regions of this country, and it will be led by the president of FIFA, Engineer Hassim Moses Magogo, who will be together with Rogers Mulindwa and the CEO, that is Edgar Watson. We also expect Bernard Bainama, in charge of the UPL, to also be accompanying the likes. So we expect all these regions to be prepared to welcome these big lads, especially in football. This time around, they started with Kampala, and you could see them at Makindye, where they first held their first meeting with the DFA, that is the FIFA Executive Regional Tour. In this tour, we expect the likes of all the challenges that we are facing, especially on grassroots, to be discussed and to be soluted, like to have solutions, especially when it comes to the inadequate supplies of equipment, that is the balls, the bibs, and maybe we can talk about the jerseys for referees. We can discuss issues of football pitches being turned into businesses for the councils. I think the federation should take up all those football grounds. We think that every pitch now belongs to the government, minus those pitches which are located in some people's properties or personal properties. Now we expect the federation to be in control, to be in charge of all those football pitches across the country, because we expect all these, especially sub-county playgrounds, the district grounds, to be in control, or to be controlled by the government. Now the government should now take over all those land titles, should take over all those pitches that are being used on district level and sub-county level, so that they can easily hand over those titles to the federation, so that the federation can govern these grounds, because we expect these pitches to be on standard. If you want to develop that game, we expect these pitches to be under the governance of the federation, which is not like what is happening, simply because counties, sub-counties, and maybe some villages do not have football pitches, simply because government land has been grabbed by people who have personal interests, and the football is lagging behind, especially on grassroots. So that is one of the issues that we expect the FIFA Executive Committee Regional Tour to be handling. Maybe somewhere we expect them to be also handling issues of licensing of players, especially on the 5th and the 4th division levels. That is a problem for most of the clubs who cannot compete, simply because they cannot meet the licensing standards. But we also expect that issue to be discussed along the way. Therefore, we have seen the pictures of the FIFA tour as they were in Kampala. We have seen the pictures how the federation is expected to appear in front of these district football associations, and now that is all about the executive federation tour. Away from that, we have seen at the Green Park Premier League, Hayes International, they have come back to rediscover their winning ways. Last evening, they have a game. I mean, they had a game, but this time around, they tried very, very much not to concede goal. They beat Meditech Phone Repair 2-0, and my friend Brian, my friend Ozil, and the likes, they actually gave in all they had to win this game. Remember, they were on a losing streak, and they had lost about 2 consecutive games, but this time around they rediscovered their winning ways, and now they beat Meditech Phone Repair 2-0. That is at the Green Park Premier League. And remember, the Green Park Premier League is actually taking a break for Easter, so the games that were scheduled to be like tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, they will be on a break. They will be halted, and the Green Park Premier League shall return on Tuesday as business resumes away from the Easter holidays. So that was the story of the Green Park Premier League and how Hayes won this. Elsewhere, we gathered for you some pictures from the secondary school USSA games that were going on somewhere in Tungamo district and in Rukunjiri. We saw how Chitunga, that is Montreal, also came back to win the district trophy after 8 years of failing to reach even the final. So they were celebrating, they were doing well, and those other boys, the Montreal High School Chitunga boys, were celebrating after winning for the first time in the last 8 years. We got for you those pictures from Chitunga, and Chitunga was banned some time back simply because of violence during these games, and we can tell you they have spent about 8 years without even reaching a final. But this time around, after 8 years, in the 9th year, they have now scooped that title. Remember, there's one Okelo, the games teacher at Chitunga, who has actually been going through the ranks of coaching through the USSA capacity building campaigns of this year. He's the one way up to those guys to celebrate like that. You can easily see how happy they were. And still here in Barara, we have seen the ED Cup that is still continuing. The ED Cup is still going on up to maybe up to the ED day. I think that will be around 10th or 11th of April. But this time around, we have seen players like Mawazo Ismail being crowned man of the match in a game that was highly contested by a Weldon Muslim community. That is Weldon Football Club, maybe Weldon SS, you can say. And now we have seen the Somali Stars also, the Somali community here in Uganda. Like I explained before, those Somalis who are here as refugees, they actually tried to bring themselves together by creating a football club, naming it Somali Stars, but of course including some of the youngsters who are born here and some of our homeboys who joined this very club. Now we have seen Somali Stars drawing 0-0 with Weldon SS, and this brings Somali Stars to the knockout stages simply because they won their first game against Vanilla CCTV cameras, and this time around they have advanced to the knockout stages after drawing 0-0 or 0-0 with Weldon Football Club, that is Weldon Muslim community, of course led by director of Weldon School, that is Mr. Yassin, who was also by the way present at Nyamichobola yesterday as Weldon failed even to score a goal. In fact, the Muslim community squad, they actually lost one of the players, Sharif, to a red card in the 75th minute, but Weldon still could not find a chance to score. We think the Somali society were very good to play against Weldon. Mawazo Ismail was man of the match. That is after the end of the 90 minutes, was given that envelope courtesy of Sixers and Jack Electronics. Sixers and Jack Electronics are actually supporting the ED Cup in terms of sponsoring the man of the match. We have seen this come up several times, as he is also the sponsor of man of the match at the Green Park Premier League. And this time around, he has supported the Muslim community in their campaign. Remember, this year in 2024, the Muslim community through Kadiran and ED Cup are trying to help the delivering mothers. They're trying to help the health center threes who are trying to cope up with the death of delivering mothers, and now they're trying to curb it. So the Muslim community will be trying as hard as possible to collect some money to support these health center threes, especially providing delivery beds and providing the delivery kits for those health center threes. So that is Mawazo Ismail, who happened to be man of the match at the end of that game. Somali Stars playing against a Weldon Muslim community. And elsewhere, we also saw Sharifa becoming player of the match at the Green Park, as see the shooters had won their game. You can look at that smile. Sharifa smiled way home with that envelope coming in from Sixers and Jack Electronics. You can as well see how he was holding that placard. The Somali Stars team also is still there. We have pictures of the Somali Star team who happened to beat Weldon towards a goalless draw, and they were helping themselves out to get out of that group Now we expect the league to continue later today, as Tigers will be expected to play against Gistband FC in the upcoming game later today in the afternoon. That is all about the ED Cup updates as I have brought for you. Elsewhere, let me take you to the FUFA Times Uganda Premier League, whereby we have a reminder of the table, how the table is standing now in the Uganda Premier League. That is, Chitara is still leading with 43 points ahead of Bull. Bull had ruled this. Bull had stayed on that table for quite some time, but this time around Chitara is on top with 43 points with 21 goal difference, and they have conceded 16 goals after scoring 37 and losing 4 games, drawing 4 and winning 13. This is how Chitara has become ruthless. This is how Chitara has become so untouchable, so indomitable. We can actually see that Bull is now behind with almost a difference of 4 points. And this time around, we expect Chitara to be winning each and every other game, because at home they have been untouchable and unblockable. Bull comes second with 39 points, and Neck comes third with 37, as Esivia is also a fourth with 36 points. And we can as well see Vipers coming there after 19 games. Vipers is standing fifth with 35 points. That is the table. That is how it stands, with Maroons FC coming sixth with 31 points, and URA also sharing the same number of points, but with a meager goal difference compared to Maroons. And KCCA is now eighth. You can imagine KCCA started by losing all their first 5 games. Remember, Sergio Traguel had to leave. That Portuguese had to leave after he had gotten those 5 consecutive losses. He could not even secure a point in his first 5 games. So KCC was struggling. They started when they were 16th on the table, but this time around they are 8th, halfway table. Now we expect them to be doing better. After 20 games, they are now standing at 29 points, and you can see Express Mukwano Gwabanji is also standing 9th with 29 points, and Mbarara City comes also there in 10th position with 27 points. Mbarara City, they actually will be playing, I think this time around, they will be playing Esivia. They will be playing Esivia away. Yeah, Esivia is hosting Mbarara City in their next game. So we can as well see Solitilo Bright Stars, they are coming there also with 25 points in 11th position. And Wakiso Giants also with 23 points coming 12th. Gaddafi 13th coming with 16 points. That is how the table is standing. We can see that a team like Arua Hills was also relegated, so we need not to discuss that. Arua Hill was relegated some time back. We just need not to discuss that simply because they could not make it. And Busoga United is just there waiting for its relegation announcement. Busoga might not survive this time around. I don't think Busoga will survive. I don't think Busoga will survive. Busoga and UPDF has to score 15 goals in the next 2 games, and they really have to double their points. They have to get 3 consecutive wins to survive this one. They are standing on 15th position with 16 points, and Arua Hill was already relegated. Within the Uganda Stadium's FUFA Premier League, we have the fixtures, and I can tell you that Mbarara City will be playing Esivia. We have the Uganda Premier League fixtures, and I can tell you that Mbarara City will be playing Esivia, and we shall see that action later on. Maroons will be playing Express, that is at 4 p.m. That game will be at Ruzira. KCC will be playing Busoga, that is at 7 p.m. and KCC is at home at Philip Omondi Stadium tonight at 7 p.m. That game will be live on Sanyuka. And then tomorrow we shall see Chitara will be playing Bull at 4 p.m. and Wakiso Giants will be playing Nek there in Wachisha. We expect that game also to kick off at 4 p.m. Chitara will be playing at Katsawe Grounds in Masindi at 4 p.m. also. Then later tomorrow we shall see Esivia will be playing Mbarara City at Kawaka Ronald Mwenda Mutebi Turo Memorial Stadium, that is Wankulukuku, and URA will be playing against Vipers. That is a game to watch. It will be at 7. The kickoff will be at 7. And remember, URA sent in a request to host its games at St. Mary's Stadium Chitende, simply because their Meta Stadium is revamped and it's actually being prepared to be a cricket ground for the upcoming T20 African Games, that is in Meta Stadium in Lugazi. Then elsewhere we shall see Bright Stars playing Gaddafi, and that game will be on Sunday at 4 p.m. at Kavumba Recreational Grounds. That's the update we have gotten you from the UPL. And in cricket, we have actually seen the Easter Youth ODI series where Uganda will be playing Kenya sometime to come. That is on 29th later on. Uganda will be playing Kenya. The fixtures of cricket fixtures, that is the under-19, and Uganda will be playing Rwanda again on 30th after beating them with 5 wickets yesterday. And Kenya will also be playing Rwanda on 31st. That is in cricket, the ODI series. Those are the fixtures that are coming up. And later today we shall also see a game between Kenya and Rwanda. That is a game that we expect to be commencing as later on as midday today. So that is the update we've gotten you from cricket. And remember, Rwanda will be playing Kenya. If they lose, that means they will be out of this tournament. So we have seen also some action to take place over the weekend. This will be the second last game over the weekend in the Western Regional League. We have both tables for Ankole and Kigezi region as they stand so far, simply because we are nearing the end of this tournament. We are nearing the end of this league, the Western Regional League. They actually have 2 games to go. Unlike those who had games in hand, those who could not play their games due to postponement after a number of reasons, maybe national leagues, or maybe the FIFA Dram or the Uganda Cup. So those of you, that is the teams, some of the teams who missed some of the fixtures during the season, they will be playing their games later next week. In the Ankole sub-region, Bunyaruguru United is still leading with 41 points, and Bushanyi Veterans are behind with 36 points. You can as well see, but Bushanyi Veterans are really standing with a huge goal difference, that is 34, whereas Bunyaruguru has 26. So that means in the next 2 games, if one of those teams has to lose, then they will have to say bye to the playoffs. Bwisbwera United is standing 3rd with 29 points, and Nyamitiwawera is standing 4th with 20 points after winning that game against Turushere. That is the 1-0 they won here in Nyamitiwawera on Saturday. That game gave them hopes of staying afloat with 20 points. We can as well tell you that Chambala Rastas are standing 5th with 20 points, and 6 o'clock standing 6th with 19 points, whereas Churugu has 17, Ibanda they have 12. Those are the teams that are going to actually be relegated. Those in red, Ibanda Municipal, they really have to work hard in the next game. But by the way, if Ibanda wins the next game, they will have 15 points. That means they will still be in that red zone. So they will have 15. They will not make it. In case they win the 2 games, that is 6, they will have 18. That is when they will put Churugu on pressure, and maybe Churugu will now sit in the relegation zone. That is if Ibanda Municipal wins their next last 2 games. So away from that, we have the Kigezi sub-region table, whereby Ntoda is still standing strong and they would want to play in the playoffs. And Ntoda has actually tried several times. That is a table where Ntoda is leading with 40 points, and behind them is Surugarama, who have 38. But Ntoda still stands strong with a goal difference of 22, and Rugarama FC also have 17. That means with a few games remaining, we expect to see Ntoda playing again in the playoffs, as they just missed last year only, where we saw Bunyaruguru Bulldogs playing. I think that was Bunyaruguru United who played Kigezi Homeboys at Kacheka last year. This time around, Ntoda is prepared to play in the finals, that is the playoffs, to determine who will be the winner of Western Region. But the leader will still play another team coming in from that Chitara side, so that we can choose one to go into the Fuva Stadium's a big league. Therefore, Gorilla is standing 3rd with 37 points, and Rubare FC is standing 4th with 25 points, whereas Akataka FC is standing 5th with 24 points, and Wampara Bulls standing 6th with 23 points. We can as well see Chihi Young Boys, they are standing 7th with 21 points, whereas FC Lions in Tungamo are battling relegation. FC Lions in Tungamo, after 17 games, they have 16 points and -4 goal difference, as well as Rukunjiri United, who are in the red zone. Now, that means if Lions in Tungamo miss or fail to win a game, they will be facing a very huge challenge to get into the relegation battle. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Blaze Sport. We shall come later on in the evening to give you the latest in sport, that is in sports zone, which runs from 3 to 4 p.m. every day, Monday to Friday. I remind you of the consecration ceremony of Bishop Dr. Cyrus Taiba, which will take place on 4th of April 2024 this very year at Kamkuzi District grounds. I call upon everybody of you to come and join join us. We shall have the guest of honor, who will be Mama Janet Kataha Museveni, the Minister of Education and Sports, and she will be accompanied by the Minister of ICT, that is Dr. Chris Barigye. Whereas we shall also have the Archbishop of the Born Again Christian Pentecostal Churches, that is Archbishop Dr. Moses Odongo, who will also be accompanied by the Bishop Emeritus Stanley Tagari, who is the former Archbishop of the Church of Uganda. Remember, eats and drinks are already prepared for you. Make sure you come one, come all. My brother Edgar will be coming back to take you through the remaining part of the morning bless.